I never expected to hear someone else crying at my son's grave. I had come alone, like every Sunday, carrying a bouquet of white lily, Mason's favorite. The path through the cemetery felt familiar now. Too familiar. Each stone marked a story, but only one of them carried my heart. Grief is a strange companion. Some days it walks beside you quietly. Other days it drags you to your knees. This Sunday was supposed to be quiet, routine, until I heard it. The sound of a woman sobbing raw, broken, helpless. As I rounded the corner near Mason's resting place, I froze. There, in front of his grave, sat a young black woman in a waitress uniform. Her shoulders trembled. In her arms, a baby boy clung to her chest, silent but wide-eyed. She looked like she'd carried 100 lifetimes of pain in just one morning. I blinked. My fingers tightened around the flower stems. Who was she? And why was she crying? At my son's grave. She looked up and wiped her tears quickly, startled to see me. I'm sorry, she said, standing up. I didn't mean to intrude. Her voice cracked as she hugged her baby tighter. I was still in shock. Do you know Mason? She nodded slowly. Yes, I did. I shouldn't be here, but I had to come. Just once. Who are you? My name's Alana. The name meant nothing to me. I worked at the cafe near the university, she continued. Mason came in often. He was kind. We became friends. Friends. The word hung strangely in the air. I looked at her baby. He looked no more than 6 months old. I didn't tell him I was pregnant, she said softly. I didn't get the chance. I felt my knees weaken. You're saying Mason was the father? She nodded again, tears filling her eyes. Yes, it wasn't a relationship. We were just two people who needed comfort. It happened once. Then he was gone. I stared at the little boy in her arms. His tiny hands, his soft curls. She didn't come asking for anything. She just came to say goodbye. I just wanted him to know that he has a son, that a part of him still lives, she said. I was speechless. My son had a child, and I never knew. What's his name? I finally asked. Micah, she said. My breath caught. Mason once told me, when he was a teenager, that he liked that name. I had forgotten it. Until now. Can I hold him? She hesitated, then gently placed Micah in my arms. As I held him, something shifted in me. My grief didn't disappear, but it felt different. Lighter. This baby was my son's child, flesh and blood. A heartbeat I didn't know I needed. We sat on the bench together. I asked questions. She answered, sometimes through tears. She told me how scared she was, how she almost didn't keep the baby, how Mason was the first person who had ever treated her like she mattered. I listened, and I cried. At home, I didn't know how to tell my husband. How do you explain that your dead son left behind a child? A secret life? That night, I showed him a photo of Micah. He stared at it, silent, then whispered, He looks just like Mason. That's when I knew this little boy was ours now, too. Weeks passed. I kept seeing Alana every Sunday. Sometimes we spoke. Sometimes we just sat together in silence near Mason's grave. Micah started to smile more. One day he reached for me. That was the day I knew I could never walk away. I wasn't just a grieving mother anymore. I was a grandmother. Alana and I grew closer. I helped her with things: diapers, rides, even groceries when I could. She was proud, always hesitant to accept help, but she was trying so hard. She was a good mother. One evening I invited her over for dinner. It felt strange setting a plate for someone Mason never got to meet his child with. But when my husband lifted Micah in his arms and whispered, "You're safe now," I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. People talked. Family had questions. But I didn't care. Micah was family now. So was Alana. We still visit the grave. Every Sunday. Micah walks now tiny steps. Big energy. He always asks, "Where's Daddy?" And I tell him, "He's right here, baby. He's in your smile. He's in your heart." I came to the grave that Sunday expecting silence. Instead, I found the last piece of my son's story. I found the woman he helped, and the child he never got to meet. I found something I didn't think was possible after grief. A second chance at love. And that's the truth the grave revealed. Not just death, but life that keeps on living.